This is my very first Digimon game, and that's a big deal because if you've never played Digimon before, you might be in the same boat that I was, wondering if this is the right entry point. And thanks to Bandai Namco for sending me an early review code, I've been able to dive in headfirst over the last few days. And here's the thing, I've been around the block with monster-taming games before. I grew up with Pokemon since the Game Boy days on Gen 1, and just 2 years ago I reviewed Dragon Quest Monsters 3: The Dark Prince on Nintendo Switch here on the channel, so I already have a strong idea of what makes this genre tick. But stepping into Digimon Story Time Stranger for the first time, it didn't just meet expectations, it completely sold me on the franchise. Time travel, digital anomalies, and a collapsing world. This story doesn't waste a second pulling you in. You play as an Adamas agent, part of a secret organization investing mysterious anomalies around Tokyo. Things go sideways fast. An explosion hurls you 8 years into the past and drops you into the digital world of Iliad. Here, peaceful Digimon are caught in a war against the aggressive Titans, and it's up to you to unravel the mystery behind a looming world collapse scenario. What makes this story stand out is how it blends sci-fi and mythological elements. One moment, you're walking through the neon streets of Shinjuku and Akihabara, and the next, you're exploring Iliad's surreal, ancient-inspired landscapes. It gives the game a grand scope that feels different from other monster-taming RPGs. And the time travel elements isn't just a throwaway gimmick, it's tied deeply into the narrative, adding layers of intrigue that I didn't expect. And if you guys know anything about me, I've said it a lot in my reviews and on the podcast, but I absolutely love the time travel mechanic, whether it's in video games or movies like Back to the Future or TV shows. I can't get enough of it, and I think they've done a very nice job with the time travel mechanic here in Digimon Story Time Stranger. Now, presentation-wise, the PS5 really brings it to life. The anime-style opening feels like the start of a Digimon series, and the environments are crisp, colorful, and detailed. Digimon designs pop with personality, and the lighting and visual effects give battles a polished, modern feel. And then there's the audio. Digimon don't just fight, they talk.
From here? You want me to fly to the other side from here?
And I didn't know that until I played it, so they're fully voice acted, and I thought that was really cool. Conversations make your bond feel real. Early on, I had to convince Bayumon to help me cross a broken bridge, and hearing him respond with personality and kind of sounding like a human sealed that immersion for me. I thought it was pretty cool. Pair that with a dramatic soundtrack, plus the optional Cyber Sleuth BGM pack for longtime fans, and you've got a package that nails both presentation and atmosphere. Alright, let's talk gameplay because this is where Time Stranger really locked me in. At its core, this is a turn-based monster-taming RPG. You'll fight, recruit, train, and evolve or devolve Digimon. But the mechanics here go way deeper than just hit, attack until you win, right? First off, compatibility matters. Digimon are classified as vaccine, virus, or data types, and each one has strengths and weaknesses against the others. Add in elemental resistances and traits, and you've got layers of strategy here. What I love is how clear the UI is. When you target an enemy, it shows you arrows and percentages, so you instantly know whether your move is strong, weak, or neutral, and it saves you from the old trial and error slog. Then you've got critical points, or CP as the game refers to them. Every action you take builds CP, and once maxed out, your Digimon can unleash devastating cross arts. And these feel like big cinematic finishers, and since CP carries over between fights, it makes every battle feel like progress towards something epic. So if you have a battle start and your CP is full, but you're only facing one Digimon, you can bank that CP and use it for your next fight or the following fight. But my favorite system is the Digivolution and Digivolution. Instead of just evolving forward, sometimes devolving is the smarter move because it boosts stats long term. And it creates this loop where experimenting isn't just allowed, it's rewarded and encouraged. On top of that, you've got the talent and bond systems. Talent raises your Digimon's potential level cap, and it increases through battles, finishing enemies, or even training at the farm. Bond represents your connection with each Digimon. Raise it through fighting, feeding, and talking to them, and they'll inherit better stats as they evolve. What's genius is the bond and talent don't reset when you Digivolve. So instead of punishing experimentation, again, the game encourages it. Controls on PS5 are silky smooth, menus are intuitive, combat flows quickly, and of course, thanks to the SSD, loading is lightning fast. Jumping from a cutscene to battle to exploration feels seamless, and while there's no flashy DualSense haptic feedback unique to this game, the vibration is clean and adds a nice tactile layer during big attacks. Now onto the pacing, and this is where many RPGs live or die, and Time Stranger is balanced in a way that works for both long play sessions and short bursts. The story moves at a brisk pace with frequent cutscenes and missions to keep momentum up, but when I want it to just wander, grind, or experiment with my team, the game let me. The difficulty comes in 3 flavors right out of the gate: story, balanced, and hard. Story mode even lets you retry battles in invincibility mode if you're struggling, while balanced hits that sweet spot of challenge without too much grind, and hard mode ups the tactile stakes. And for the hardcore crowd, Mega and Mega Plus unlock later for serious tests of skill. I stuck with balanced though and loved it, and I never hit any walls with balanced. However, if you do, there is a retry system as well for the balanced mode. So if you do fail a couple times, it says you can retry at a lower difficulty. So it keeps things accessible without stripping away some of the tension that's necessary. For someone new to Digimon like me, that approachability I thought was really cool, and it gave me the freedom to learn the systems without feeling punished for not knowing every detail right away. If there's one thing Digimon fans won't complain about, it's content. This game is packed. The main campaign alone is meaty, but the Digifarm training adds another layer. I loved feeding and chatting with my Digimon there. It made them really kind of feel alive. And then there's this scanning mechanic. Every time you face a Digimon, you can scan them. And once the meter hits 100%, you can recruit them. However, push it to 200% and they come out stronger with extra talent points and HP. And of all the Digimon I recruited, I did not recruit any of them at 100%. I made sure to push all of the recruiting to 200% because I'm not trying to leave any extra talent points or HP on the table. And I thought that was a brilliant twist on the monster collecting formula. And if you're into cosmetics, the options are aplenty. Cyber sleuth outfits, swimwear, school uniforms, and on top of that, special Agumon and God variants evolve into their Bond of Bravery and Bond of Friendship forms, which is a cool nod for longtime fans. So who's this game for? I think veterans, you'll appreciate the callbacks and depth. Monster taming fans, if you loved Pokemon or Dragon Quest monsters, this is fresh but familiar. That was one of the biggest things that I came away with here, and I'll talk about it more, is that Pokemon, Dragon Quest monsters, and Digimon, all of these games can be successful. All of these games can be successful and deserve to be because they all bring something different to the table. And then newcomers like me, you'll find an approachable, well-explained entry point. Now let me be clear, this game is flat out addicting. The combat system rewards creativity, the Digivolution trees invite constant experimentation, and the bond system makes you genuinely care about your team. And I spent more time than I expected just talking to my Digimon, laughing at their personalities and watching bonds deepen. Replay value is through the roof between different Digivolution paths, DNA fusions, costumes, and difficulty modes. I can easily see myself running through multiple playthroughs. And since swapping Digimon mid-battle doesn't even cost a turn, which, by the way, I love that, it constantly nudged me to try new lineups. This game hits that sweet spot where battles are quick and satisfying, but the systems are deep enough to keep you experimenting for dozens of hours. And that's something, again, I got caught up in with Dragon Quest Monsters 3 The Dark Prince. I played that game for way too many hours that I even want to admit. But it's because it was so much fun and so addicting to do the fusions with the monsters in Dragon Quest Monsters, and again, you get to do the same kind of stuff here, which is really cool. Now, here's where it surprised me the most. I came into Time Stranger as a, I guess you could say, a total stranger, and now I get it. This game shows why Digimon has endured for decades. It's not trying to beat Pokemon. It's darker, more sci-fi, more narrative-driven, and honestly, it's a little bit more tactile. So for long-term fans, it feels like a love letter. For new players, it's an easy entry point. And for the genre, again, it just proves monster taming doesn't have to follow the same formula. If Bandai Namco builds from this momentum, I could see Digimon Story becoming a bigger presence alongside Pokemon and Dragon Quest Monsters, because again, I love all three and they all deserve a spot. Alright friends, now it's time for my final thoughts. And coming into Digimon Story Time Stranger, I honestly didn't know what to expect. I played it at PAX, I really enjoyed it, but outside of that, I didn't know anything else. This was my first Digimon game, and I wondered if it would really click with me, or if it might have just felt like another spin on the monster taming formula that I've already spent several decades in with Pokemon and Dragon Quest Monsters. However, after diving into its story, experimenting with its deep Digivolution systems, and bonding with my team of Digimon, I can say this, that Time Stranger is not just another monster taming RPG. It is definitely its own thing, sci-fi, strategic, and surprisingly heartfelt. It respects your time, rewards creativity, and builds bonds that make every battle matter. So, is it worth picking up on PS5? And for me, that is an easy yes. In fact, this game doesn't just get a recommendation, it earns my full Thunderstruck recommendation, and the timing couldn't be better. October is shaping up to be a monster taming fan's dream because right after this, Pokémon ZA drops on the 16th, and I'll have a full review coming your way shortly after launch. So, big thanks again to Bandai Namco for providing me with the early review code so I could share these impressions with you. And again, remember, there's room for all of these monster taming RPGs. They're all really good, and Digimon is a prime example of that. A game that I had never played, and now that I've played it, I'm like, dang, I should have played this a long time ago. So with that said, as always, remember, you're never too old to play video games.